Good morning, Year 4. Welcome to your Monday English lesson. I'm going to share my screen with you now. Okay, now this week we're going to be doing some writing about volcanoes. In our lesson today, our first lesson, we're going to be exploring the vocabulary of volcanoes. Tomorrow's lesson, lesson number 2, we're going to be describing a volcanic eruption. And on Wednesday, in our third lesson, we're going to be writing a short story about a volcanic eruption. Pause the video now and to write today's date and learning objective. Well done. Now we're going to be inspired today by this picture here of a volcanic eruption. In a moment, I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to make some lists of things. First of all, I'd like you to make a list of all the things you can see in this picture. Then I would like you to think about whether or not you think this scene is a positive scene. Do you think when you are writing about it later on that you would use positive intent words, or would you use negative intent words? Pause the video now and have a go at that. Well done. Okay, let's have a think of what we can see in this picture. Now it's a photograph that I can see, and I can see obviously the volcano erupting here. I can see the lava billowing out, the smoke puffing up into the clouds. I can see the lightning forking across the sky. I can see the silhouette of a nearby mountain and some lonely looking trees in the foreground. I think this scene, if I'm honest, looks quite scary. I wouldn't want to be nearby as a volcano was erupting. So I think if I was describing it, I'd be using quite negative intent words. Let's find out some more about volcanoes now. So I'd like you to look at the film clip, which I've attached to the class page on Classroom Dojo. It's also on the schedule, and this is the clip. I'd like you to just watch it through and enjoy it first of all. So pause the film and pause this video and go and watch the film now. Okay, well done. Now some of you might have watched it before because it's from the documentary A Perfect Planet, which has been on TV recently by David Attenborough. Hopefully you've enjoyed watching that. Now I'd like you to watch it for the second time. This time I'd like you to have your pencil or your pen ready, and I'd like you on a piece of paper or in your book to jot down any facts that you can find out about volcanoes from this clip of documentary. Pause this video and watch the film again. Okay, well done. So what facts did you find out? Hopefully you found out this fact, that there are 1,500 active volcanoes in the world. You might have also found out that the most active volcano is Kilauea volcano. You might have also found out that they are destructive, yet vital to the world. The volcanoes are so important because they create a breathable atmosphere. And that without volcanoes, there would be no ocean, land, or life. Has this changed your mind about volcanoes? All of a sudden, they don't seem quite so negative, do they? Without them, life on Earth really wouldn't exist. And yet, when we write about them, we're still going to probably think they're quite scary. And so our writing will probably still show a negative intent. Right, we're going to need to do some reading now. We want to find out some more words about volcanoes and some more facts about them. We need to really understand what volcanoes are and how they work. So on Classroom Dojo, on the class page, I have posted this sheet. If you're able to print it off, then you can do so and have it in front of you. If not, you can follow on the video. I'm going to read it through to you now. And as I read it, we're going to look closely to see if there's any new vocabulary that we can collect for our writing this week. Okay, so remember, we're going to be collecting new vocabulary, so you might want to underline any new words that we come across. I'm going to do the same on this sheet here as we go along. Active volcanoes. There are 500 active volcanoes around the world. This means that they could erupt at any time. 60 will erupt each year. 10 volcanoes could be blowing their top right now. Why does this happen? Deep below the ground it is hot, so hot it can melt rock. This melted rock is called magma. Volcanoes happen when magma finds gaps in the Earth's surface. It collects inside the magma chamber. This is deep below the volcano. The magma moves up the crater pipe and pushes its way to the surface. Then it gushes out of the vent at the top. When magma hits the surface, we call it lava. Okay, now there's lots of words there, words that we don't usually use in our everyday talking, so we need to find them now. So I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to highlight them. Now, I find that one fact here is different from the video. I wonder what is true. Maybe we can Google that later on and find out the exact answer. Volcano is obviously going to be a really important word this week. We need to make sure we spell it correctly, and obviously the plural of volcanoes. We're going to underline that as our first word. This word erupt is going to be really important. Now we need to look carefully at the things that we find inside a volcano. So we have this melted rock called magma. We're going to be using that word today. Now, the magma moves up the crater and it pushes its way to the surface and it gushes out of the vent at the top. And then when it does, it comes out as lava. Let's read on to the next page. Types of volcanoes. Not all volcanoes can erupt in the same way. Some make hot, runny lava that runs down the sides of the volcano. Some shoot hot ash, lava and rocks high into the air. Some have tall slopes with a crater on the top. These make big explosions. Lava, rock and ash explode out of the volcano. Volcanoes can be deadly. Lava flows can knock down buildings and set fire to things. Ash can cover the ground and make it hard to breathe. Gas gets blasted out and makes the air poisonous. Mud flows slide down the slopes, ripping houses and trees from the ground. Not all volcanoes are about to erupt. Dormant volcanoes are said to be sleeping, but they could erupt again. Extinct volcanoes have not erupted for a very long time. Let's go through this again and find some words that we want to use in our writing this week. We've already highlighted lava, but let's do it again on this page. We also introduced this new word, ash. Let's have a look. Dormant and extinct. Not all volcanoes about to erupt. Dormant, that's a new word. Extinct, we've heard of that word before and we've used it before, but we're using it in a different context here, aren't we? And also, I think we need to go back to the page before because I'm not sure we highlighted the word active. I'm not sure I can find it at the moment. Perhaps you can. Okay, now let's go on to our tasks now. This is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to find the correct meaning of the words that we've collected today. Here are the words that we're going to be finding out about. Volcano, magma, lava, erupt, active, dormant, extinct, ash. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to look up the meaning of these words in the English dictionary. You could use an online dictionary. Here's one that I've got here that you could use. Now once you've looked it up and you've found the actual definition of these words, what I'd like you to do is this. I'd like you to write your own definition of the word. Use your words and your descriptions. It will stick in your mind much better if you write your own rather than just copying it out from a dictionary or copying and pasting from the internet. Once you've done that, I'd like you to draw a picture of the word. How are you going to remember it? Using a picture. Now, what you could do then is you could act it out. How could you act out a volcano? How could you act out lava? How could you act out dormant? I'd love to see some of these. So you could film yourself doing this and post them on Classroom Dojo later on. Also, do you remember how we remember words sometimes by using signs? Do you remember how we had this sign to mean hierarchy and this sign which meant emancipation? Could you find or make a sign language for any of these words? Or perhaps you can actually look up at the British Sign Language or Makaton for any of these words and see what they have. And you could perhaps take a video of yourself acting it out, or you could perhaps show me later on in our classroom Zoom. So I'd like you to pause the video now. I'd like you to write down these words, and I'd like you to go away and complete these tasks. I can't wait to see you acting out some of these words later on, or show me the way you've signed the words so they really stick in your mind.